welcome to a brand new episode of Hollywood Tales with my friend and guest, the one and only Morty Coyle.
Hello.
Hello.
All of you.
Thank you, man. I've known Morty. I've known you how long?
It's got to be
Almost
we made like late 90s.
25, 30 years?
Yeah, something like that. We met in the late 90s.
I want to talk about how we met, but let's
Yeah.
talk about, because we were talking about it before we're actually officially starting. Your first time here at Jam in the Van.
I am. It's my first time, although I grew up sort of in the area. I went to a junior high school called Palms.
Yep. I just drove right past it when
Right.
I was coming up here. So this used to be a rehab center.
All right. Smells like it still is. It has potential. If it ever wants to go back.
Yeah, they can always go
it's
back.
already on it. Yeah.
No,
on
it's very
way.
420 friendly. They do a lot of live events here, podcasts, comedy shows, live music.
Right.
I'll give you a tour and show you, but maybe
That's awesome,
this
man.
could be a place where you can
Jam
set up.
in the Van. I remember the name. It's a very
They have a big tour bus where they have a recording studio inside.
bitchin'.
And then people go in there and record music. It's really cool. And I started doing podcasts here like right at the tail end of the pandemic.
Okay.
But they're known for music and live comedy. They go to festivals and shit and set up shop in other places. It's a really cool concept, unlike anything I've ever experienced. So yeah, if you guys have not been here, it's called Jam in the Van. There's a website, jaminthevan.com. It's right here in West LA. Just Google it. You'll find it. Check out their calendar for shows. Morty is a old school friend
Right.
who you were born and raised in LA.
I was born in Hollywood. I was born in Hollywood in an era that when I say it to people, they go, and then I have to show them my ID.
Yeah, because you look really young. I'm not going to disclose
I'm
your
old.
age.
I don't give a fuck.
I'm 52. How old are you?
I was born in '68. In like the Beatles were still together when I was
So you're
born.
54.
I'm 54.
You do not look 54 years
I
old.
try not to. Yeah, I'm trying
Maybe
to
it's the
not
pink
look 54 till I'm
glasses. I don't know.
75. I'm hoping. I don't know what. You know what? And you find this too. I don't
Maybe it's
know,
the Jewish.
But I don't. Yeah, maybe it's
You know,
they always say
bloodline.
stress and worrying actually is good for you. Contrary to all the popular belief, the misconceptions over the years.
Are you an only child?
No, I am, but much to the chagrin of my sister.
Older or younger sister?
No, I have a younger sister who's going to be 50 in March.
So let's just comb through like your timeline, and then I want to talk about how we met.
I was
You
born.
were born in
I was
darkness.
born in Hollywood. I grew up not really. I don't know a lot about sports. Sports to me, because there's a loyalty to sports where I look at it as like war in shorts, because I just kind of go, the next year. I don't have skin in the game in sports.
Right.
We've had great teams in Los Angeles. We had the Dodgers in the 70s, and we've
The
had
Lakers.
Lakers and the Kings for a while, and then there was a soccer team, if somebody remembers.
Galaxy.
But
Was it the
no,
Galaxy?
before that there was the Skyhawks, I believe. But so there was a bunch of stuff like that. And so we always had. I never was at lack of if I were to have been a fan, but I don't have that gene, even though my dad was a soccer player and my grandfather was a soccer player. So to me, it's all the people that were born in my hospital. I go, who was born in my hospital? That's my, if sports.
That's your claim to fame. Is
Sports-
that your best Hollywood tale?
No, oh God, oh honey. No, but like sports to me is like, they should have the skin in the game, like should only be people from that town. You know what I mean? But then the next year you go, like I go, I mean, I guess Shaq played for the Lakers, right? Okay. Before he was on regional television every fucking minute.
Right.
So, but wherever he's from, if he had stayed on that team, everyone would have team loyalty. Like the whole town would be like,
Oh yeah.
"Yay."
No, LA doesn't have any team.
And then the
loyalty.
next day he's on a different team.
Right.
And I'm like, you just love this guy.
I remember going to Laker games younger, and the game wouldn't even be over, and people were walking out.
Oh yeah.
It's like, at least let them finish the fucking game.
Yeah, you paid $9 for a pretzel. The least you could do is just leave before you shake the rock salt off your pants.
So you go to.
So that's my thing. I like finding out about people that are, because there's only like 6 of us that are actually born in LA.
Yeah.
It's me, my songwriting partner in the band, Christina Applegate, and Desi Arnaz Jr. That's it. Nobody else was ever born in Hollywood. And we're all born at the same hospital, which is now a Scientology building, by the way.
Oh, is it really?
Yeah.
So you guys, and then what? You like, I guess, transitioned into music at what point?
My mom
And where'd you learn
the quick backup for this? So you don't know who I am, and
Morty
I don't
Coyle,
know who I am.
real quick, for those of you that are listening and or watching, Morty Coyle is, and the reason I wanted you on this podcast, when I bumped into you at Pantera Sarah's thing, I was like, oh, he'd be perfect for my podcast because it's called Hollywood Tales, and you have a million of them.
I do.
And I was around you for a good chunk of them.
Some really good ones.
But I met you in the Hollywood. So let's just fast forward.
Yeah.
We met at a place called the Opium Den.
Sure.
And you had a band called the Imposters.
No, so I was in a band called the Imposters, an original band, not to be confused with the Elvis Costello one. We were signed to a couple record labels, and we did the whole thing. Out of high school, we played, and then we did the whole scene. I was always in bands, and I also always went out. As opposed to a lot of the other guys in my band, I went out.
Do you play instruments as well?
No, I'm mostly a singer.
You're more lead singer.
I'm
right?
a songwriter, but I'm a multi-hyphenate entertainer. I come from a long line of entertainers.
So we'll dig into that in a second.
Yeah.
But Morty also has a your stage presence is fantastic.
Thank you.
Like you really know how to engage an audience. Like it's like Harry Connick Jr. on coke.
Well, when you were young,
no, because you wear suits and
Harry
stuff.
Chronic Jr.
Harry Chronic.
Yes.
Don't you wear suits typically when you perform?
I used to wear. So what you saw me in was something called Men Without Sex.
That's what it was.
Which was,
and this is circa like
late 90s.
It was earlier, wasn't it?
The 98, something like 90.
Okay, yeah, that's right. An Opium Den, which our friend Pantera Sarah used to promote. And this place was a small, dark speakeasy, but it has like a stage.
Yeah.
And it had great sound system, and they would perform every week.
It had been known as the Gaslight years before. It was like a punk rock club.
Right. And then there was an outdoor patio where you can drink and smoke. Jay Davis was back there in the bar.
Yeah,
remember that?
A lot of very established people
would hang out there.
Menial labor at the time. Yeah. I mean, that's just how it. You know what I mean? I mean, I used to work at Damiano's. Like how Jay actually was. And I don't mean this to be an pejorative. He was the bar back at the Roxbury.
Yeah, I remember that.
And we used to play downstairs as the Imposters. We got signed out of the Roxbury. We were downstairs for Julie McCullough. She had. I remember Julie. She hosted a night there. So like there was, and we're talking about the Roxbury.
Julie McCullough, by the way, is a ex-playmate.
Yeah,
right?
Former playmate,
now comedian,
and
super
a sweetheart.
Yeah,
absolute
She's
sweetheart.
Awesome.
And so she had a night there. And she was like, oh, I want you guys to be the house band. And we were the house band. And then we got signed out of there, but Jay was the barback. So
tell the listeners what the Roxbury was.
The Roxbury was, okay.
And this is like,
here's a Hollywood story.
Yeah.
Here's a great Hollywood story.
Dig in.
So it had been various things. It was called Imperial Gardens in the 70s, maybe in the 60s too. And originally it was like a large Asian themed, probably Oriental is what they would have called it at the time, but an Asian themed place that possibly had mob connections. And then it fell on darker times around the punk rock era, but it was a lot of space. It's a huge space. So because it's a big place, when you don't have a lot to do with a big space like that, and you just have to do whatever you can. So during punk rock really took over. If you watch The Decline of Western Civilization by Penelope Spheris, the punk rock documentary, you'll see the Imperial Gardens and the Bags play there and stuff. And so it had that. So while we got to the 80s and then early 90s, there was a resurgence of money. And people started reopening things, and they started taking over. And the thing about Los Angeles...
Where do you think the money was coming from?
Cocaine. Yeah, and really just one person buying all of it. It was Andy Dick, and he actually funded much of... regionally. We're very lucky he came out here and actually...
I have a funny Andy Dick story.
Oh, God.
I'll tell you later.
I know 100 people with one story. I'm one person with 100 Andy Dick stories. No.
Can you?
Oh, we have.
Let's show that.
I could go on. So the point was, this Imperial Gardens had gone through changes, and then for a while, they would become different places, and then it became this place called the Roxbury, and
which was at that time like arguably the hottest nightclub.
Yeah, it was
in
a
Hollywood.
big room club.
You would have like Sylvester Stallone would hang out there.
Yeah.
Prince.
Yeah. Bolt House had a night there.
Yeah, Eddie
Brent
Murphy.
yeah.
Like it was big, like the big,
Oh, yeah.
big A-list shiny fucking
And
stars. hanging out there.
everything, it was weird because having been from here, I remember when West Hollywood was unincorporated. West Hollywood used to have train tracks riding down the middle of it, Beverly Hills all the way down in Santa Monica. So when I grew up in West LA. There was a bridge over Santa Monica and Beverly Glen, which is where, if you're here we go in the weeds. If you know who Ernie Kovacs was, an early television
Talk show host.
well, no. He had his own show. He was just a complete genius, an absurdist genius. Ernie Kovacs. Look up the Ernie Kovacs show. But he had crashed his car under it and died. This is a Hollywood story. So the bridge there had LSD spray painted on both sides. So I grew up near the LSD bridge. That was like what I always went down. And there were these train tracks that ran down the middle of Santa Monica. So if I were driving to see my grandma and papa, I was lucky that being from LA, all the grandkids were born essentially at the same hospital. So both my grandparents lived 1 block away from each other.
Right.
My dad's side and my mom's side on either side of Laurel, above and below Fountain. So I had them there, and then my mom's parents lived across the street from what was called the Starwood on Crescent Heights, and so we would drive to see my grandparents down Santa Monica Boulevard, Little Santa Monica, and at the time it was like decrepit. Like West Hollywood was sort of like how when Hollywood got kind of seedy.
Ghetto,
it was
yeah.
just there. And you would drive until you hit what would become like the Jewish area. You know what I mean? Which is like what we think of traditionally, Fairfax. And then you're in like
the Hasidic Jewish area?
No,
or-
that's further down. That's where I was raised around Sycamore, where it was literally the Rebbitzin and the Orthodox Jews and the Hasidim going up and down. But around there you drive, and this is when like and not to be politically incorrect or disrespectful.
Do it.
You know, this is when like, but I'm saying like high school, college, we would drive down the street and yell out like, epithets at homosexuals because West Hollywood was gay at the time. They called it Boys Town,
But it wasn't
hadn't
accepted.
been incorporated. No, it just hadn't been turned into its own
Boys Town.
city.
Right.
Once it became its own city, gorgeous. I mean, it was gorgeous, and everything was like, it was clean. They have their own sheriff's department.
Because gay men know how to,
Hell,
and
yes.
they know how, they have good taste.
They did. Threw
They
a
have
couple
great taste.
pillows around, and the entire area
a
was
fern.
gorgeous.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like,
Fix the lighting.
track lighting. Who knew track lighting instead of street lamps? You know what I mean? Yeah. So we, so having driven through that area to my grandparents' house, I grew up looking at all this, and seeing these areas of Los Angeles. I forgot where we ended up here.
Well,
but
the Roxbury.
Right. So the Roxbury.
And I have a funny
all of a
Roxbury
sudden,
story.
money was like back again. Like it was late Clinton. It was around Clinton, and things just start pre-blowjob. Things started becoming kind of.
And the Sunset Strip was popping.
Yeah, it was, but they hadn't built. No, they had built the Viper Room, and that had already had its thing, and we played
But
there
right
all the
across
time.
the street, you had, Carlos and Charlie's at the time?
Carlos and Charlie's,
Which
right.
ended up being Dublin's?
Right. Carlos and Charlie's became Dublin's. So there was a confluence of things. Like all of a sudden there was money.
So at the height of Roxbury, I was probably, I think I was 19 or 20, and I was hanging out with Vince Vaughn at the
Right.
time, who was unknown. Like
Yeah.
nobody knew
So
who
I
he
didn't,
was.
that was what I was going to ask you. I came on the train a little late because I knew Patrick. I knew Patrick Van Horn.
Yeah.
We used to play softball with like a bunch of Kevin Connolly and Patrick and Randall Slavin and like all these guys. We all used to like hang. It was around the time. It's so weird. You went to the Playboy Mansion a lot too, right?
I was about, so I'm going to talk about that.
all right.
Let me just sidebar this story because I do have it was so funny when I knew you were going to come on this podcast
Right.
because you used to frequent that place a lot.
We played there, yeah. The
Like
band
you were
played there.
like you were like a regular house band at the mansion.
It was
Okay, hold
very
on. Let me
peculiar.
get
Yeah,
there because I thought about that and I was like, I only got invited twice. but real quick, Roxbury, just before because I want to go.
Yeah,
with
so
Jay
Roxbury
Davis.
was just a big place with a lot of money.
So
yeah.
there was one night when Vince Vaughn was the most genius guy I've ever seen, the best salesman I've ever seen in my life. He would call up clubs and act like he was, my name's Joe, whatever, Matteries,
Right.
from the so-and-so agency, and my client's in town for 2 nights filming a Scorsese
Can you
movie
show
called...
him a good time?
Yeah. I'm going to send him and his boys down to the thing. Man, make sure they get in all right, get him a table, and we'd show up and they would fucking let us in.
Yeah.
As the, he was an unknown.
Wasn't the world great before the internet?
So then, but one night we didn't do that. We walked into the Roxbury. It was packed. There was a line around the corner. All these big like security goons in the black, suits
yeah.
or whatever, like standing at the door. And there was like 7 of us, all dudes.
Right. Because that's how people rolled back then.
Right. And at the time, well, we never had chicks with us. We always had
Right.
it was always 5, 6 guys.
Oh, no, I'm very aware. You came to clubs I worked at.
Thanks, buddy.
It's like, oh, great, dude. Whole bunch of guys are here.
Thanks
Thank God.
Thanks
It's like 5 hot chicks walked out.
Thanks for rubbing it in.
Hey, listen, you guys are still friends. Do you remember any of the ladies?
No.
Exactly.
So we so at the time I was working out pretty like heavily and I was really stacked. And I had like a tight t-shirt on and I had gotten in a fight like the week before and I had a black eye from it. But I also had an Olympics hat because the Olympics were in town.
Okay.
The U.S. Olympics were in L.A. at that time. I can't remember, somewhere in the 90s.
It was a different one, right? Because we had the 84 ones, but yeah.
So I had this cap on, a black eye, and Vince walks up, and I'm standing behind Vince, just kind of like watching this, and he's in the security guard's ear. He's whispering in his ear, and the guy leans over. He looks at me. He looks over at Vince, and he goes, and then the guy opens the velvet rope, and we all walk in. I walk past the security guard, and I said, "Thank you," and he goes, "You got it, champ."
He thought you were De La Hoya?
No, he thought we walked in. I said, "How did you get us all in here?" He said, "I told him your name's Hector Chavez, and you're here for the Olympics in L.A. You're here from Mexico, and you're here for
For people that don't know,
And he was the best fucking. He knew how to talk his way into things, man. He still does.
he is exactly. I've met no people, but he is exactly that character, like Swingers.
Oh yeah,
Like there is, and the first time I met him, I can't remember if the movie had come out yet, but the first time I had met him, there was buzz around of just, hey, our friends have a movie, or people we know did a movie. There had been that other movie, what was it, Don's Plum, or what was the one that like Leo and Toby and everybody did? They did this movie that they pulled. Everybody we knew was in it. I think it was Don's Plum, something like that. Somebody Google this. But
What's
no,
it called?
I think it's Don's Plum.
Don's?
And like Toledo's in it, D-O-N apostrophe S. And it was this movie that got pulled. Like nobody, it's sort of like nobody's seen it, but everybody was in it. And it was at this time, it was like somebody's labor of love or something like that.
Black and white, independent.
Yeah.
Like short film by R.D. Robb, starring Leonardo DiCaprio, Tobey Maguire, Kevin Conley.
Yeah.
It was filmed in 1995-96, right when Swingers was filmed.
Exactly.
Written by Rob, Bethany, Ashton. The film takes place over the course of one night in which a group of young adults discuss life while eating at dinner.
No, but you got to
Fucking
imagine.
snooze fest.
But they never put it.
Exactly.
But it was like, you remember
The film was blocked from release in the U.S. and Canada as DiCaprio and Maguire claim that they had only agreed to star in a short film, but not a feature film.
Yeah, I think somebody had tried to extend it into like a whole thing, and they were like, we did our friend's art film.
Oh, I see.
So that was around the same time. So it was like, remember, this was like the independent filmmaking wasn't what it became and then what it is. Mm-hmm. It was, oh, my friend's gonna, and I did a movie for a friend who in the 90s who had a bunch of friends, Meredith Salinger and Jason Wiles and Peter Dante. And
Jason Wiles, why do I know that?
Then you worked with Chris McQuarrie and stuff. So I had done a movie as an actor with my band was in it, and a friend of ours was like, "Hey, will you be in this movie?" So there was the potential that you could all of a sudden be like, "I'm going to make a lateral move,"
Right?
And I had been SAG for years, so I was like, "Okay, fine, now I'm an actor." And the band breaks up, and I'm like, I'm going to be an actor, and I got an agent and things, and went out on things and whatever, and that was what LA was like.
Right.
You know, and so at the time I heard about this one movie, and then there was this other one, Swingers, and I went with I was in a breakup, and somebody goes, "We're gonna go see this movie at the Lemley, you know, when the Virgin Megastore was still there. We're gonna go see this independent movie." And it was before I did the movie, because Swingers was a benchmark movie, because it was like Usual Suspects, Swingers, like all these things, and the brain.
It was a cult classic for sure.
The brain trusts of these people were people we saw.
Yeah.
Like, they were actually.
It was relatable.
Dude, I'm going to give you a great Hollywood story when we get a chance with a person who's not here anymore, that I'm sure you knew, but it's a Rio.
Oh, of course. Yeah. I was just at his.
Right. Yeah. It was incredibly sad. He passed away last year.
Yeah, God rest his soul.
But it was. But there's an amazing Swingers tied in story.
He's in it too.
Yeah. But this is.
I was in it. You know that.
This is, dude. You're in the bar scene. It was, dude.
It was the Hollywood party, but yeah, at the bar.
No, but at the party,
yeah.
You just sort of like, hey, what's you want to? Yeah, no, dude, trust. I was like, maybe I'm in this and I don't know.
You know what? I have people coming at me from like, because the movie came out in '96, I want to say. I'll have people like, even recently, like text me and be like, hey, dude, I was watching Swingers the other night. Are
you in it? Yeah.
I didn't realize that was you. I was like, bro, I've known you like 20 years.
Yeah, they're like, you don't scour my IMDb.
You're not stalking me?
Come on, man. What kind of? You're a shitty agent, Don. Yeah, no. So so there was the potential that this could really happen for anyone at any time. So I had friends. Our friend Elena goes, I know you're bummed out about this breakup from the girl that is the impetus for why we did Men Without Sex. Was a girl who got knocked up by my friend, and it was a whole long thing. And she was a pussycat doll. She was a pussycat doll.
That's a different podcast.
No, but this is like, trust. That's in room B. I'm going to go in there in a little while for crying. This is the laughing show. No, but so we were all friends and everything, and everybody around us started like exploding. And she goes, and I'm going through this breakup, and he goes, we're going to go see our friend's movie. Okay, fine. You know, and I don't know anything about it other than I heard it's funny and everything. I go to the movie, and I'll tell one Hollywood story now. This is the Rio story.
Sure.
I'm at the Formosa. Now, Rio was a bartender at the Formosa at one point.
Let's give everybody a back.
Just
out of
Rio
respect.
Hackford.
Rio Hackford. His dad is Taylor Hackford, who's a very famous
director, and
Oscar-winning director. He directed Ray. He directed Officer and a Gentleman.
Hail, Hail, Rock and Roll, I believe.
The Muhammad Ali
documentary.
He's like critically acclaimed director. But his son Rio is an actor and a great actor who was in Swingers and has done a bunch of parts and stuff. But he was really good at opening bars.
Yeah.
Cool bars. Like cool speakeasy bars in Hollywood, and
even
like New Orleans and San Francisco.
I believe he worked at Formosa at one point, maybe early on.
Well, he was a bartender at 3 clubs.
Right.
Remember that place?
Oh, yeah, it's still there.
Yes. And that's where I like met him originally.
Because I thought I remember at the Formosa. So I haven't had a drink in a really long time. But I would go there and hang out because you just found places like Kelly Brown. Like I met Kelly Brown there and like a bunch of friends. And Formosa was just... There were certain places that had just been there perennial, like just had been there forever. Like
Formosa Cafe is a like straight up Hollywood landmark.
Yeah, if you watch LA Confidential,
they shoot a lot of movies.
Yeah, they brought it back to what it looked like. It's an old train. They took an old train car and they added it to a building and they made it an Asian themed restaurant or whatever. And
if you're ever in Hollywood, you should check it out.
Yeah, it's on Formosa and Santa Monica.
Yeah,
and it's
memorabilia all over the walls.
Yeah, and it's just I had my 28th or 29th birthday there. It just have like all the headshots, Clark Gable. Like, really?
Frank Sinatra.
Really? But like really, like Clark. They just had the Elvis. Sadly, they just had the Elvis after party for like the award show thing. And Lisa Marie, that was like one of the last places people saw Lisa Marie.
Oh, okay.
Actually there, and they took pictures of the Austin, the whole thing. So I'm at the Formosa and. You would just go there and hang out. You didn't know where you'd go. If you weren't in the club scene all the time on like a Wednesday night, whatever, you would just go there. So I'm in the parking lot of the Formosa and I'm in my car and it's dark and there's nobody around. And I see Rio and maybe Adam Goldberg. Like,
Yeah,
just
because they were boys.
there are like 2 or 3 of them, and they're. Oh, by the way, it's also across the street from Jones. Jones is already there. Jones is an incredible hotspot. Everything. Shout out to Keith. So they're walking in the parking lot, and then these dudes are walking this way, and they bump into each other.
Like right out of Swingers.
Oh wait, they bump into each other, and the dude turns around and goes, "What the fuck?" And I'm the only one in the parking lot, and I'm in my car.
You're just watching it from a.
I'm in my car.
Fly on
Nobody
the wall.
sees me.
Right.
I'm in my car in the dark, and I look up and I go,
Uh-oh.
what's about to happen? And they're under street lights. And he turns around and he goes, "What the fuck, homie?" And the dude was just wanted to throw. And I go, "What the And I'm thinking, oh, fuck, they're going to shoot him. And I'm watching and I'm in my car and they're going to shoot me. So I'm like in the car, ducked down, watching, and he does anything, and he walks over and he like hits Rio, and they like, and then it dissipates.
What did Rio do?
You got hit.
No, but did he hit
Usually
back?
went, oh, like,
Did he hit back?
no, I don't remember it going back.
Because
Like
he had a hot temper.
but the dude looked like you took the hit and then you went, thank you, and then you walked away.
Thanks for the hit.
Yeah, it was
Well,
like,
Rio was a
you're
big-
going to hit me.
he was
and
a tall guy.
He was a
He
big guy. And this
yeah.
dude, it was a guy that would hit you and you would go, let's end this now. Let me buy you a drink. And that was and then it dissipated and that was it. And then I walked across the street later. They were at Jones, and I go, dude, I just saw that. I was in the parking lot. I did not help you at all. They were before cell phones. I didn't do it. I sat in the car and said, I'm rear window. They're gonna push me off of my wheelchair out the door. Raymond Burr is gonna kill me. Sorry if I don't want to ruin Alfred Hitchcock's masterpiece for you, but fuck you if you haven't seen it yet. And so I'm like, I'm there. So I tell him, so Swingers comes out, and I'm at the Formosa, and I see Rio, and he goes, have you seen Swingers yet? I go, no. He goes, it's going to be deja vu for you. And I go, really? And I watch it. Now, here's the funny part. I've known Patty for years.
Yeah.
So Patrick's in the scene, and he gets the arm thrown at him. And the guy that throws the arm at him is Dave Gould, who is in Mother Tongue, in the band Mother Tongue. And in my band world, they were contemporaries of ours, and I actually went to school with his older brother, Herman. So I've known him since they were like little pishers.
Right.
And so I'm
Did
like...
you know he was in the movie?
I had no idea. He was like a lighting guy, or he was a prop guy. And they just put him in because he had tattoos.
So that was, just really
Yeah.
quick, just to interject. When
That's the scene, right.
Well, Swingers was one of those low-budget movies where the
The prop guy,
the prop guy would like hold the thing.
Yeah,
of
the boom, right,
the
or
boom,
whatever.
And then walk around and then come do a scene and then come out of the
Right.
scene and then grab the boom again.
Yeah, chop vegetables, make crudité. Right. He was like craft service guy.
Yeah.
So I didn't even know he worked on the movie. And I'm watching the movie and I go, oh, Dave's in this movie. Davo's in this movie. And Patty's in this movie. So the movie to me was also that sort of like, that. So I'm watching the movie and I go, oh my God.
It's possible.
Rio must have told Favreau the story. Because I'm like, and Rio's in the movie playing the other
himself.
guy.
Yeah. Or
the guy
the bump.
that
Yeah,
started
yeah.
the shit. And I go, oh, wow. I was like, because I'd heard that what happened is everybody sort of went to Favreau and went, oh, this happened and that happened. And this
Jon Favreau is one of the like most brilliant people when it comes to adapting stories.
yeah, his absorption.
He just knows how to hear a story, absorb it, and then write it out. When he wrote Swingers, he wrote it in 12 days.
Yeah, I believe it.
And I'll never forget, I think he was on unemployment, living on the corner of Franklin and Beechwood.
Right.
Just like in the movie Swingers, that little
Yeah.
apartment that they shot that
His
in
real
his
apartment.
Yeah.
And I knew every scene
And
in it. I used to
I used to live on Beechwood, and we would get together for like lunch or dinner.
Why
like
the 101 is featured.
well, we didn't go to the 101.
But that's why I think they featured it, because it was...
Right. It was
Yeah.
right there. But we would go to Birds.
Of course.
And I remember I was jobless at the time, but I was working construction just to make some money. I'd get up at 6 a.m. and like mix concrete for fucking 10 hours. And I remember being exhausted, and I was about to crash out, and I got a text or a call from him, and he's like, come meet me at King's, what's it called?
Kings Road?
No, not King's Road.
Which one?
Birds, sorry. Is it Birds?
Which one? Bourgeois Pig or Birds?
Not Bourgeois.
It was
Pig.
Birds right next door.
Yeah.
Yeah, on that
Who's
little
Wild Pig? That's
on the
right.
run.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we went to Birds. We're sitting down, and he slides over this script to me, and he said, "I wrote this. I'd love to get your thoughts."
Was it
on
called Swingers from that
Yeah.
point? Okay.
I said, "Oh, cool, sure." I said, "You want my opinion?" He's like, "Yeah." I said, "Got it. I'll read it tonight." Went home, read it. I called him up at like, I think it was like midnight, maybe 1 a.m. He answered. I go, "Bro, I laughed out loud the whole fucking time. The words just jump off the fucking paper. You're such a great writer. What are you gonna do with this?" And he's like, "I don't know. I'm trying to figure it out."
That's so
In those early stages.
So amazing.
Backstory, once he got with an agency that wanted to represent it, they were going to make it, but they wanted to use Brad Pitt and Christian Slater at the time.
Huh.
And,
How horrible for him.
and he said, "No, I wrote it for myself
Right.
and for Vince Vaughn." And they all said, "Who's Vince Vaughn?"
Sure.
And it's
And
just so funny how this industry works out.
I
If
always
you stick
wanted-
to your guns long enough, and they didn't make that movie, I think it took them 5-6 years to make it.
Took a while, and I remember that they were talking about, because everybody thought it was what we got presented with was the final movie.
Mm.
And I'd heard that they had like an original version pre-edit. Like I think they had tightened it up. They had done the color
Probably.
correction and stuff
Yeah,
after
yeah,
they
yeah,
had
yeah.
done the
Yes,
movie.
yes.
And they had tightened the movie up, and then they were like, now it's bulletproof. And that's the version I saw. I knew people that went to the screening of it
Yeah.
and thought it was great but raw.
Yeah, well, they hadn't done what you just said. It wasn't
Right.
color
They hadn't
corrected,
done
didn't
the
sound mix it.
Yeah, they hadn't added all the special effects that made
Right.
Vince look tall. Right. So they did that. Yeah, they had just Peter B walking next to him through the entire movie just to like make him look in perspective. But yeah, no, yeah. So I met Vince like right after that and knew the ascendancy immediately. I'd never met anyone as charismatic. And because of the Opium Den and because it had had its thing, and not to say the street, but the area where Sarah lived with her roommates, Gracie and Lisa and all these people, had become like a party house.
Sure.
And we all went there and we all hung out there. And I subsequently released the dogs. And I subsequently met my first wife, or my first ex-wife, at around that time.
Jody?
No, prior to Jody.
Oh.
I was married before to a lovely British woman who I had met, and so we all played game night. We always did game night.
Right.
Sarah had game nights all the time. We did game night with Gary Coleman. Were you there that night?
I don't think I made that
Yeah,
one.
you don't. I mean, it was because we did everything, Truth or Dare, and then it
Yeah.
was like, then we were playing like Balderdash, and then it was like, Trivial Pursuit, and it was just in fact, I'm going to go do a game night with Randall Slavin soon, which was like that, Dave Pressman and all those guys. Like it exactly, I lived for that. That was like what we do in Candy Crush on our phone now.
Those were great times. I remember Vince, Morello, they used to always have,
Yeah.
running charades. At
Yeah,
their house and
I'm doing
stuff.
running charades.
Yeah,
That's the one I'm
that's
going to
a-
go
that's a
do.
fun-
And at
fun
Roger Castillo's house, or at this person's house, and it was so when Entourage appeared on television, Chuck Pacheco. You remember Chuck?
Not personally.
Okay, well Chuck, another guy we played softball with, and all these guys. I was like, what? Here's the thing. I forget there's this and that.
Right.
So I'm talking to you, and
Yeah,
so
go
I can
for
talk
it.
about anything.
Hey,
and then I
I'm
know
good.
it's good.
I'm a
I
good-
know it's good TV.
I'm a
But-
good interviewer. I know how to bring the
And I
juice.
got a big
and the
fucking
dirt.
mouth and the juice.
That's why I wanted you on the podcast.
Right. No, but
I'm just sitting there going,
my bachelor party.
mhm,
Oh shit. So and it wasn't even that it was any different than a lot of other bachelor parties, but it was like who was there and the circumstances.
Mm-hmm.
But so anyway, when Entourage came out, I just saw like this thing's coming on TV, and I was like, oh, it's art imitating Chuck Pacheco's life,
Right.
because he grew up like one of Leo's boys. In fact,
Right.
I just saw Pookie last night. I don't know if you know Richard.
I love Pookie.
And we met him at a studio we used to work at when my band was at the Complex in West LA, which is right down the street where Earth, Wind, and Fire used to own the studio. And Pookie was the desk guy. He was the receptionist.
Pookie is
Our friend Richard Wood. Yeah.
Richard Wood. He very well known DJ in Hollywood. He's like besties with Leo, right?
Yeah, they're all like in that crew
They're
of
all in
guys.
that
They all
crew,
grew
yeah,
up. Like
yeah.
they went to elementary school or high
I'll tell you. I'll tell you. A funny,
yeah.
I'll tell you a funny story. Remember that club on Highland
836.
that
the
was
Probe.
hot for a second?
Yeah. It was.
What
That's
was
where
it
I first
called?
DJ'd.
Was it called? No.
Yeah, it was they called the night was called Social Studies, But the place was 836 Highland. It was called.
It was a big 2-story place.
Yeah, I DJ'd the back room and AM was in the front room.
So it was myself, Vince Vaughn, Cole Hauser.
Oh, yeah.
And Rory Cochran and Peter Billingsley.
Sure.
And it was, again, right out of Swingers. And we were walking down like this corridor, if you will, where people would go from room to room, but there was this corridor.
Right. It was a big space.
And coming, opposite of us, or toward us, was Leo, Toby.
Right. What they call the Pussy Posse? Was that what they called? Richard?
It was like that whole crew, right? But this was before like Leonardo had popped.
Right.
But he was still like well known.
It was like right around Romeo and Juliet, or right before Romeo and Juliet.
Something like in that era. And him and Cole Hauser bumped shoulders.
They have a West Side Story dance-off.
Dude, it was right out of that.
Right.
And I just see Hauser. If you don't know who Cole Hauser is, he's on the show Yellowstone.
Right. But he's not a little guy.
He's not a big guy.
No, but I wouldn't throw against him.
He is very confrontational. Like he used to, like always almost get in fights every time we'd go out.
Right.
And then
good guy to have around.
Well, sometimes because sometimes not. Like you're always trying to like.
No, I'm saying that's never a good guy.
Oh, never a good guy. I thought you said good guy. Yeah.
Yeah. When you're people like us, like pacifists and not using our fists, like you get to be very funny when you go, guys.
Yeah. Well, that's what. So I was that guy.
Right.
I was always like, hey man, and excuse my
Sure.
friend, and I'd pull him aside, and I said, what the fuck's wrong? What's wrong with you, man? He's like, that guy.
He was on Growing Pains with Julie.
I was just like, guy,
what
relax.
are you ruining this?
So anyway, they bump shoulders, and then immediately they both turn around and face off, and then each crew like turns around.
Has to pick which guy. Who were you going to beat up, Toby?
No. They had some cat. They had some cat that used to hang out with them. I forgot his name. Zane, I think his name was, or some shit. I can't remember who it was, but I was like, as soon as we turned around, it was literally like 5-on-5.
Right.
And then so it was Vince, Cole, me, Peter B.
And for those that don't know, if you've never
Cochran.
actually seen Vince in person, Vince is 7'5". He is like a
he's just
really tall.
He's
big
6'5",
guy.
but he's got a big presence.
Personality. Yeah, you look at him and you just go, oh,
no, it's just
fuck.
like he's like a wall. Like he's huge.
And he doesn't back away from fights.
Well,
either.
he used to fight.
Right. He doesn't back. I've seen him.
I've
throw.
been with him.
Yeah.
And he also studies. He also studies like jujitsu.
Right, but even at the time,
back then he wasn't
like just actor guy. He was one of those.
Well,
guys.
he used to box. He was like a young he's a trained boxer.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, and he knows how to hit. Like he has weird strength.
Yeah,
like X-Men strength.
Yeah,
and
he's
shit.
We
were fucking around one day, and he was like, all right, give me some shots, and I was like, bum bum bum, and he's like, ch-ch-ch. And he's like, all right, my turn. I put my hands up, and he went, bam, and he fucking. I go, dude,
never again.
No, he almost broke my fucking hand.
Yeah, you were going to join Leo's crew.
Yeah, I was like, you know what, I'm gonna hang out with Leo now.
Yeah, it could have been in the Pussy Posse, and instead you were with Vince's crew.
So there was a face-off, and there were some words exchanged. We didn't say anything. It was more Cole and Leo, but we were all kind of like rolling our sleeves up just in case. And if I remember correctly, I think it was Pantera Sarah.
The Probe. That was the name of the actual building. That was the 836.
The Probe,
Island.
but it was 836. And I think Sarah came in and broke that up.
I believe it.
It was one of the promoters came in and was like, you guys,
or Jen Rosero, like Jen, Old House, yeah.
But somebody came in and was like, you guys, go your way, and we just kind of like, all right,
I'll see you on the dance floor.
I'll see you on the
I'll see you in the bathroom where it's going to be awkward.
Yeah. I'll see you I'll see you at stall number 2, bro.
Yeah, you want that powdered soap, homie?
But yeah, so that would happen. So, but then I ended up meeting him properly, Leonardo, and he was the kindest guy. Like he was so nice. He's a real nice guy. He grew up
and he went to school with my sister.
He's a LA guy, isn't he?
Yeah. And his brother, his half brother. Adam,
you left him out. You said there's only 6 people.
What do you mean?
7.
No, I don't.
Born and raised in LA.
I assume, but I don't know where exactly he was born because there wasn't Cedars of Lebanon yet. Maybe Cedars Sinai. But I knew that.
I think Sherman. He was born in the Valley.
In the Valley. Okay. Well, then I immediately can't talk to him. There's just I have
310 snob.
I will not go over the hill until I'm over the hill.
Fuck 818.
Yeah, and then under the hill at Mount Sinai. But no. So I having grown up in Los Angeles, you'd see everyone come to town. Where are you from originally?
Well, I was born in Egypt, but raised
Okay.
raised in
A
Riverside.
little on the nose, but
Yeah.
okay.
Raised in Riverside, California.
Oh, great
Yeah.
speed.
Yeah.
You guys have
Our-
a fantastic methamphomethampine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. We know how to
Sound
cook.
guy gets it.
We know how to cook it.
Yeah. No, you do. You do. And if you can avoid actual, and by the way, location.
Location.
If you've ever wanted to live on a block, wait a couple weeks till it explodes.
Right.
And then you can get
And then you can
property
go
way cheaper.
way cheaper, right.
Yeah, well, lots of cheaper. And it has everything has a sunken living room and a sunken kitchen and a sunken garage. It's all sunken.
When you got out of high school,
Yeah.
or like when did you start singing?
I sang, okay.
And like what inspired you
I'll
to
give you
start
the
singing?
My mom was born in Baltimore, grew up in Miami. In Miami, my mom and her two brothers had what was a kid act. They were, my uncle played accordion, and then my mom and her brother sang, and they became kind of popular. They had a single.
What were they called?
The Three J's.
The Three
That
J's.
my mother's last name was Jay, was Jacobowitz.
I love that.
Shortened to Jay, so nobody would know we were Jewish. And now this is all I do. All I do is I went there was an assimilation. You know, it's the same thing that happened with slaves. I assume they assimilated, and then at one point they were like, nope, proud of it. You know, they'll never take it away from me. Now I'm Morty, so that everybody would never forget. So yeah, my mom sang with them, and so I grew up. And then my mom came out. They all came out to LA in the early '60s. Her brothers had come out in like maybe the late '50s, early '60s. So we were all in LA, and my mom had sung with. And then was in a thing called the Young Americans, which was like a very wholesome group of things. And she sang with Johnny Mathis, and she sang with a few things, and then. You know, she met my dad on Gardner and Sunset. It used to be a restaurant called the Sabra. My dad was from Israel, and
What was he doing at the restaurant? Just hanging
nothing.
out?
There was Sabras, you know, a cactus
Yeah.
is what they call Israelis.
What did he?
It was where they hung out.
No, but what did he do for a living?
My dad had come to America and he had worked at a contact lens place that somehow he had just
random.
worked at a contact lens place in West LA on Santa Monica.
They had contact lenses.
My God,
back then?
they carved them out of glass. I'm not kidding. I feel like I'm like I feel like I'm talking about like ancient history,
Yeah.
but within my lifetime thereabouts.
This is
people
like what,
wore
the 70s?
'60s. People
60s,
wore
right.
hard contact lenses. Like my parents watched Ed Sullivan at my dad's mom's house when the Beatles were on Ed Sullivan.
Right.
And so they met at this restaurant. She was actually set up with another Israeli friend of his, and my dad was dating. The other couple became a couple, and now she's my accountant, and we're still friends with them. So
That's
like,
random.
it's like when I'm from here, I'm still friends with people I've been friends with
Yeah.
for 50, 40, 50, 60, whatever many years I'm around. I'm still close with a lot of these people, and I don't know a lot of people like that. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know how many people from Riverside you still hang out with.
2, maybe.
Right. I can name people I'm still homies. Sorry, we tight? It's a tight 5. Oh, good, groovy. Anyway, so
Actually, can I go take a leak really quick?
yeah. Do you do that on camera, or is that like because I don't know what kind of
Well,
I have a Hollywood tale about that as well.
Cut it out. I just got.
Yeah. I remember Andy Dick once got hit by Wesley Snipes in the
yeah,
bathroom at Dublin's.
Oh, and you know what? I've heard that story. I've heard it from a couple different people.
Yes. Oh, and I watched him get hit and bleed all over me. And you don't want that to happen because similar to the alien, it'll eat right through your shirt.
I smoked weed with him in his apartment complex that he owned in West Hollywood.
The one on the one with the dip?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I'm from Texas originally.
Oh, word.
They came. I think the class before my graduating class came out and had an apartment there, so I was still friends with them. Went.
The one on Croft?
I think so. It was like a four.
Yeah. It was right behind like Real Food.
Yeah.
Right on the We lived around the corner from there.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I remember they had the bottom apartment.
Right.
And we're sitting there, and he just kicks the door open, has a big box. Hey, you guys want some pizza?
Yeah. Hey, buddy.
Yeah, we're like, what?
Hey,
Yeah,
buddy.
this is my first time in LA. 'Cause
Yeah.
I'm like, what the fuck?
Like
is
I
this?
said, 100 people have one Andy Dick story.
Yeah, then we
I
go
have
to his
100
store.
Andy Dick
Yeah.
stories.
Yeah, we go to his apartment. He's like, you want some weed? I'm like, sure. Why not?
Yeah.
It got weird, and I was like, I gotta go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then everybody usually has that story too.
Yeah. And I'm like, I gotta go.
I have fabulous. If this show was open ended and we had more than 5 hours of parking,
Yeah.
I would tell you
Well, I can imagine.
And not even in like, they're not even that they're
just
terrible stories. They're actually incredible Hollywood stories. Hollywood tales. They're incredible.
Yeah, you're like, how the fuck did that happen?
It's and that's the thing, like the Playboy Mansion. Like once you get to the point where you're like, wow, anything can happen, you literally go, holy shit, that did happen.
Yeah, that happened.
That happened. That's a thing that happened at that place. Like I could just tell you stories about the one house we were talking about, the 50 things that happened just there.
Yeah.
In fact, I have one great story, and then I gotta tell people I'm in a band and I do all kinds of shit and whatever the fuck else. Yeah, I don't wanna waste precious promotional time.
Thanks, brother.
No, dude, that's your 12th beer. I mean, I was just like,
Somebody's got to drink it.
no, hell yeah, you leave it in that refrigerator, and then it gets stale.
Yeah, it gets old.
Yeah.
Let's pick up where where'd we leave off?
Where were we? Roll back.
Oh no, your parents met at Sabra.
So my parents met at a restaurant that's not there anymore, right under the Mount of Tunis, right there, right by Guitar Center. So my parents met there, and my mom had been a singer. So I grew up sitting on the floor.
They
under
met
the
randomly, or
he was set up like I was saying, like another couple. All the Israelis
that's
that
right.
came to LA around the same time knew each other. Because it was like an emigration. It was
So
like
somebody said, "Hey, I want you to meet this guy."
yeah, he's a guy. He's here, and he thought he was Italian or something. Everybody. It was like early '60s. Slick hair and greasy, and
Are
the
they
whole
still
thing.
together?
And it's my dad passed away a couple
sorry.
months ago.
Oh, I'm sorry
You had
to hear
nothing
that.
to do with it. You're Egyptian and Israeli. You don't know.
I had nothing. To
No,
do.
no, okay. You didn't give him COVID, did you? No. So he actually died across the street from where I was born. So my entire story takes place on Sunset. That's my entire life from.
You need to write a book or a movie about this.
I don't. You know what? Everybody thinks they have enough for a movie. I don't think it's
It
spectacular.
could be a series. It could be like a 4-part, Netflix
Yeah, like
streaming.
if somebody cared, if you're out there and you care to hear my stories and you want to facilitate my daughter not going to college and doing something more fun with her life, please put the money in. So they met there, and then she sort of gave up singing. They got married. She'd worked at a place in Beverly Hills called Beverly Stationers, where she was doing hot stamping, and met everybody. She had been working there, met a Groucho and Mel Brooks, like everybody.
Is she still alive?
My mom is, yeah. Yeah, she's
awesome.
they were exactly pound the table, suck on it, shit. I don't, who knows? I'm not superstitious, but hey, listen, a buck is a buck. So they, she had been, and so we're already the periphery of the business, and she had grown up like all this stuff. Like, oh, we went touring like when we were kids. We toured. Did the Borscht Belt. We did all the Fontainebleau Hotel, and like we went to the Adirondacks, and we went to the Catskills, and we performed at all these places. So I just grew up thinking that's kind of what people did. Every party we had for my family.
You're singing.
Yeah, for my family, everybody would stop the party and start singing.
But are you the lead singer, or is everybody like a backup singer?
No, I'm saying I was just with all my family.
Everybody's
Everybody was singing.
Got it.
Everybody. I just thought, it's like if you grow up in a house where everybody plays hacky sack. Not looking at you, but if everybody grows up in a house playing hacky sack, you think everybody plays hacky sack. And so I thought everybody sits around and sings 9-part harmony and sing. We were like the Von Trapp if they were fewer Nazis and way more Jewish.
Who's booking you guys?
Nobody. We just sang at parties and stuff. And so when I was in high school, and I thought, rock and roll. I'm in high school.
Yeah.
I'm going to see bands, and I love music and all this shit. And I'm just like, all right, I'm gonna sing. I tried to play an instrument I didn't really take, and my guys in my neighborhood are all picking up guitar. Even for their bar mitzvah, I got a guitar and a drum and a thing, and I just went, I guess I'll be the singer. I'm probably pedigreed, and I sang, and it caught on.
You have a great voice.
Thank you. At junior high school, it caught on, and then it progressed from there, where I just kind of sang, and I was afraid, and then I learned, like just doing comedy. I learned that, oh yeah, they don't know if they don't know
Right.
what they don't know.
Right.
And by the way, if you're out there and you do anything in entertainment, some of us might know, but they don't know. The audience most of the time doesn't know, which is why I say to people, if you fuck up, they don't know shit's fucked up until you say, I don't know the words to the song. And
Or
don't.
if you say
make up the
yeah,
words.
yeah,
if you're
yeah.
doing comedy, fall back on crowd work. Do whatever you're doing.
Sure.
Trust that you can land the plane. You might not always soar, but you have a parachute. If you've done it long enough, you have a parachute. So you learn to throw your shoulder into it and to
you lean into it, right?
And so learning, after years of doing it, that's why I don't have that sort of hang up of you put me in front of 10,000 people. Comedy, I am beholden to stand-up comedy.
I always told you that you should dabble into that.
And you and Jay brought me up to do the early hosting at Tuesdays for a while when I was still doing the band thing at the Kibitz Room. So we had also had this jam thing since 91 at the Kibitz Room, at the Fockers, Friends of Cantor's Kibitz Room, and then that became, and then my band went on tour, and the Wallflowers, and all of us, we all grew up together doing that also. There's like a million different things. And so I've been very fortunate to be the guy in a different thing. And every time I changed things, everybody just knew me as that.
Yeah.
You know, you're only a single hyphenate in Los Angeles.
Right.
So I was an actor, and it was like, oh, I'm an actor now. And then I went, but you realize I still songwrite. And then when I became a DJ, it was like, oh, you're DJ Morty. And I go, yeah, I am. But
I also do this.
You know, yesterday I just sang at blah, blah, blah with blah, blah, blah. And tomorrow I'm DJing at blah, 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 blah. And then the day after I'm acting in something. And I go, and none of them have anything to do with each other, but they're all what I do.
Well, Los Angeles loves to label.
Well, you have to, because people don't know. They have to categorize you. They would say to you, they go like, so what am I going to do with you? Like, how do I sell you?
Yeah, but do they go like, oh, that's Leonardo DiCaprio, the actor, Leonardo, the producer, Leonardo,
well, if you don't,
the environmentalist.
But that, you know,
right?
but they, you know, they couch it with, don't talk to me about politics. Like all of a sudden your vote doesn't matter because you actually act. Right. It's like, what? When did that become like, when did it become like the carpenter has a voice, but the actor or the baker are not all equal?
Right.
Like just because I'm an actor and you see me talk a lot doesn't mean I'm not allowed to also pronounce.
So you're saying Greta, you know,
Von Thunberg? Yeah, exactly.
Like she has a voice, but Clooney doesn't.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I'm just like, so wait a minute. Somebody who's been around it a lot and actually has the ability to have absorbed and been in the company of these people, I would listen to them give me advice and learn from it if they have, like anybody, you know, who has, you know, even if it's a diametrically opposed position, I can absorb what they learned because they've been there. You know, I talked to friends of mine who I don't agree with politically, but we're friends. And they were like, oh, I hung out with Bill Clinton. And he had an incredible magnetized, like just a magnetism to him. He's like, I understand how people fucked him. He said that to me. A friend of mine, Esai, goes, I understand how people fucked him. Like, I got it. I got that. I was in the room with him. And then I would be with like Al Gore, and I'd go, no. I get the difference. But you know, it was immediate. Like, thing with Vince Vaughn, I got why anybody would fuck Vince.
Yeah, when I met Vince, we were 19 on an after-school special.
Yeah, did you do the one that he got? What was the one that he did?
Was
it Peter B? Right, where he was like a drug addict.
No, well, Peter was on steroids.
That was it, steroids.
And Vince played the friend that's like, don't do drugs.
Yeah, don't do drugs, Peter.
And I played one of the members on the track team who like, I was an extra. That's how I met them.
Right.
And I just would like roll my eyes at them like, ugh, these guys are the worst. But when I met him, 19 years old, I knew right away, I was like, this guy's going to be a movie star.
Yeah.
He just, you know, some people, they just have it.
And I didn't understand, you know, not to spend the whole thing on Vince, because I think he did the show.
We've been talking about him a lot.
Dude, I get, well, you know, I do. We all have crushes. No, so so anyway, so bands and DJing and everything, I did a whole bunch of different shit. And I grew up just singing. And so junior high school I sang, and then high school I sang, and then the band got together, and then right after high school,
the first band was
stayed together. Well, with the Imposters was the band. We're in our yearbook at uni, at Uni High, University High School in West LA. The Imposters are in there, and we're in there like with, you know, whatever. And then from there, my songwriting partner, Jordan Summers, who, oh, by the way, we have a new album, All Day Sucker. Hey, look at that.
So real quick.
That's the new album. That's coming out. It's not even out yet.
From the Imposters?
No, we became All Day Sucker. Jordan and I kept the band going.
Got it.
And if you ever saw Echo in the Canyon, there's that documentary.
So
basically, that's my band.
So we're going to wrap this up.
Yeah.
Where can people find you, and what do you like?
I'm on Twitter, DJ Morty Coyle, as it's MortyCoyle. I also have, they always go, what's your Instagram? And I go, I started it because I'm a dad. I started my normal Instagram just like everybody else did. Like, here's my kid, and here's, you know, Hanukkah, whatever the fuck.
But people can find you on Facebook.
I'm on Facebook, DJ Morty Coyle. I'm on Twitter, DJ Morty Coyle. And then if you want to see me and my kids singing for the last 6 or 7 years, we're at B and Daddy Cartoons. BeandDaddyCartunes. We're on TikTok and that. And she's 12 now, so it'll probably end soon. But we've been doing it since she was 6.
And then you have a weekly thing.
I DJ at Good Times at Davy Wayne's on Wednesday night. I do lots of private corporate stuff. The band is about to put out this is our 4th All Day Sucker record. And then I don't know if we have to tour now because I don't know with COVID and everything. And then we're about to start the promotion. That's the first time I've shown anyone the record.
And this is what kind of music?
We're classic rock, pop,
I can't wait to hear it.
Joe Jackson, Elvis Costello, Billy Joel, and then sort of anything
There's
that
a
we
record
love.
player in here, right? Upstairs.
Yeah, so
So can we sample some of his music?
It'll all be on all the Spotify and every other place you can steal music legally from.
So we might just for this
Please, thank
episode,
you.
just sample some of your things.
Yeah.
Let's end this podcast.
Yeah,
but I want you to come
I
back.
have so many great Hollywood. And
I want you to-
mind flooded of what I should have told you.
No, that's fine. I want you to come back. Let's do another episode
Dude.
down the road.
Yeah.
And talk about completely different
Next
stuff.
time you just tell me a story about Matt.
So let's end this with your, in a couple minutes. What's your best, favorite, scariest, funniest, weirdest Hollywood tale?
Oh my goodness.
And it doesn't.
I'm going to tell you, I hate to use one with Vince in it, but because it's so funny, and I think you were there. Okay. And it's an Andy Dick story.
Okay. Oh yeah, I forgot we have the Andy Dick
Okay.
story.
Here's this great story.
Okay.
So I think we're at Sarah's, but we're all out somewhere, and you guys have been drinking. I think you were there.
I remember this.
We end up at somebody's. Okay. We end up at a house in the hills. We all cruise up there. I think Vince had a Cadillac. He had a big car, right?
He had a Bronco.
Oh, who had a big Cadillac? Oh,
Sarah.
Sarah had a big Cadillac. But I
still
remember
has
us all being in like a convertible, and it was like the LA dream. Not mine, because they're all LA dreams. All I dream about is LA. So we're driving up there, and we end up at a party, and it's Andy and Vince and probably Patty and you and a bunch of people. And we're up at a party. Somebody lived there. It was like a guy that was living. You'd always meet. Here's a Hollywood story for you. You'd always meet somebody who was living in a big house that wasn't theirs.
Right.
Invariably, you'd go to a party and they'd
was that guy.
Hey, we're going back to. But I'm saying we're going back to that house, and then you'd go to the house and you'd go.
Where's the owner?
None of this clothes looks like it's yours,
Right.
and this is not on what you make at Red Onion. None of this looks like you might be the pool guy.
Yeah.
You don't have a pool guy.
You don't know the house, yeah.
Yeah. So we're at a
You don't have a
house
pool guy.
and we're there and everyone's in the kitchen. Everyone's drinking. And I don't drink, but I'm around it. I love just
Have you ever had a drink?
I have. I've been sober for years. So I'm a bon vivant. I just love being around the excitement, and I can stay up like this. This energy is from not sleeping. I slept 3 hours after my gig last night. So I am raring to go. And I'm just hanging out with everyone, and I'm excited, girls and whatever. And there's some hot ladies, and the guys are funny, and we're all having a great time. And we're looking at all the stuff, and somebody's in the refrigerator, and they're pulling out like ice. Maybe it was somebody pulling out ice, and everyone's just getting ready, and they brought booze. And so Andy's there. And all of a sudden, here's what you have to imagine. Does anybody know what Wayne Newton looks like? So if you have an idea of what Wayne Newton looks like, just imagine somebody who is Vegas ready, hair tan from like the neck up. So a guy walks into the kitchen in a bathrobe, but where you can see he's tan to like his clavicle, and then it's like white, and so. Whatever he was doing, he had makeup on, and that was what he looked like in his black hair. And he goes, "What the fuck are all you people doing in my house?" And we're in the kitchen, and nobody knows what's going on. And we go, so what had happened was, whoever this person was, the owner was still there, and he was like, "I can have people over, whatever." Andy wandered into a bedroom. And there was a guy and a girl in bed.
Oh, no.
And Andy somehow either got into bed with them.
I've heard this story.
Or I thought you were there. I think,
you know what? I think I was there.
and all of a
I
sudden
was
the
there,
guy goes,
actually.
"What the fuck are all you guys doing
Yes.
in my house?"
Yes, I was
It was
there.
on a hill. And we all came running outside. And we stood in the street laughing hysterically. All of us hysterically. It was just the craziest. Nobody, and at that point, nobody knows if you're going to get shot.
No, that's like in the scene in Boogie Nights when Alfred Molina
Yeah.
comes out with
with the
waving
gun.
his
Yeah, it could potentially happen. Oh God, I have Paul Anderson stories too because we all grew up in the same scene there too. But you reminded me of another one, and I don't want to take your time, but it's a great. I'll tell you off
Bro,
air.
come back.
I got another.
We'll come back.
You reminded me of the best story. You know who Mars Callahan is?
Of course.
Let me tell this one really quickly. Has a big party at his mom's house, Argyle, right up the street, right in the enclave of like the Scientology.
Big weird house.
His mom, like he grew up in that area. And, a big guy talks like this.
Preface who he is really quick.
Yeah, he was in a movie. He did a movie called Pool Hall Junkies. Right.
And he
with
had,
other
like-
friend, with Jimmy DeBello.
And he had like famous people, like Christopher Walken was in it.
Because he grew up in the scene and
He was very Hollywood. By the way, he's like 6'6".
He's a tall guy too. He
huge.
must have fought with Vince before. They must have had some.
They were best friends for a while.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they were best friends for a while, and they just, how
I
people
love him.
fall out of touch or whatever.
And I just saw him recently, and he's doing more stuff, and he became like a poker player and a whole thing. So Mars Callahan, really tall guy, big guy. We knew each other, and we were all friends. And
Isn't that a stage name, by the way? Mars?
No, I think it's his real. Callahan. No, he's actually Mars Schwartz. No,
he had a like a different name in each.
I don't remember.
But yeah,
I mean,
but
I met him.
guy.
But also
Smart
did
guy.
not back down from fights. And in fact, we all hung out when we used to play. There was the Viper was called the Central, and my band used to open for Chucky Weiss and the Goddamn Liars. And so we used to play there. And at one point, he got in a fight with somebody and bottled them. Allegedly bottled them in the stairway there with the Central to the Viper, and we used to play every Sunday. And so I saw him. He was, he would drink and then become an Irish drinking fighting guy. And so we're at his party. His mom's out of town, and we're all there. And this is 93, and we're in the backyard. There's a band playing, and all this stuff's going on, and. It's Hollywood. This is before swingers, everything. This is classic post-grunge Hollywood. Like, this is grunge. Like, everyone's wearing, like, long shorts and flannels and, like, beanies. And that's just what people look like. And all of a sudden, the band just starts fucking around and plays Sympathy for the Devil. And they're joking around. And I look over. By the way, this is the line. When I get to the line that every time I see Mars, it will never not be the thing that the story has to be told. He's at this party, and it's everybody in Hollywood, probably like these people before, and they're all there, and we're all hanging out in the backyard, and it's right Argyle, so is right. The 101 is we're facing the 101 from
Franklin
his front
on the
door.
101.
From his front door, you see
Right.
the 101.
Yeah.
So we're at this place, and then a guy walks over, yelling, moving his arms, a bald guy, and he's wearing a brown monk outfit, like a costume. The brown one that goes all the way down, like a monk that
like a Tibetan monk.
doesn't talk. No, like a monastery.
Oh,
the guy with the big
a
wooden
monk.
cross. He's
Got it.
Like a monk, like a brown thing with maybe he doesn't have underpants. I don't know what they wear under that.
Wasn't there a church right there
There's
with the cross?
okay.
I know where you're going.
He unplugs the thing and he's ranting what sounds like Italian, and I go, this is hysterical. They got a guy to come out while he's playing Sympathy for the Devil, and he's like, you people, you're making noise. You're making the noise, and it's so loud. You can't do this. It's Sunday. We can't do it. And then all of a sudden I go, oh my God, this is real. A monk from the church walked over and unplugged the electricity, and Mars realizes what's happening, and he's drunk and pissed, and he comes over and they grab Mars. Everybody surrounds Mars, and they grab the priest and they start pulling him apart. And this is the greatest line ever. And if you see Mars and you go, I saw Morty, guess what he told me? He starts swinging
at the priest?
At the monk, and he goes, I'm going to fuck you up, priest. I will.
What the fuck?
It's the greatest. I will fuck you up, priest. If you can ask him, if you go, I talked to Morty, he'll go, oh yeah, I'm going to fuck you up, priest. He'll tell you that line. If you just go, guess what Morty said about you? It's the greatest line I've ever witnessed.
I haven't seen him in years.
I just saw him recently. He came to Kibitz Room on a Tuesday.
Oh, is that right?
And he came into town. He's doing another series or a movie or something. He's
good
about
for
working
him.
on.
Super
But
talented
I will
guy.
fuck you up, priest, is the greatest.
I will fuck you up.
And it was a Hollywood party. And daytime. And it was just, and he's like, I'm so sorry. And the priest is apologizing and he's trying to swing on the priest, being held back. I'm going to fuck you up, priest. And he's like, just imagine Vince swinging on a priest.
Bro.
You know, and he's a little guy in like in a priest outfit. And I was like, this is the most entertaining.
That's the
thing
most
I've ever
religious
seen.
Hollywood tale I think
It's
I've ever heard.
You're delicious. But yeah, dude, thank you for having me.
You need to
on,
come
man.
back on. One last question.
Yes.
Are those glasses prescription?
No,
or-
they're not. No,
just-
they're not.
just-
They're an affectation.
just cool.
I am an
You're
absolute.
just cool like that.
Every couple of years, I change everything about myself. And I realized when I turned 50, right around that time, I was DJing, and I went to a store and I saw them, and I went,
Midlife crisis.
These will be no, because I plan on being 107. I said, I guess I'm entering the Robert Evans portion of my
Yeah.
life.
No. You can wear them. You can get away with it.
No, but so that's just become my thing. I have 50 pairs of them. They're all of them. I bought 50 pairs so the first pair would never break.
You can get away with those
Yes.
pink shades. I love it.
That's my advice to you. If you like something, buy all of them, and you will never. The one thing you have will never wear out.
Right.
You buy one of them, it'll break on the way to the car.
Right. That's
Yeah.
like suits. Buy like
Absolutely.
6 black
Always,
suits.
if they fit, wear them.
Yet another episode of Hollywood Tales with my friend, longtime
Coyle,
friend,
Yes.
and guest
Maybe not
Morty,
after this, but yeah, at some
Morty
point.
Coyle. You should come back and let's talk.
I will come back in
This
5
guy
minutes.
has thousands and thousands of Hollywood Tales. So
Yeah.
please come back.
And
Big
thank
shout
you
out.
for doing this, by the way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll do it again. I think you're like episode 51 now or something.
I looked at it and I was like, why do they have me on? But then
Dude.
you had some like beautiful women right to recently.
We've had some fun guests.
Yeah, that's when I actually wrote on your Instagram. I was like, oh God, I'm intimidated now. You had like hot ladies in here
We've
doing
had some fun.
talking.
Yeah, we've had UFO specialists, actors, directors, athletes,
And that's only one person. All of those people. Yeah, all of those people.
Yo, thank you guys for watching.
Live
Go to
long. jaminthevan.com.
Yes.
Yes.
This place has live events, music, comedy, podcasts, cooking segments, the whole nine. It's a fun place. It's 420 friendly.
Oh, it is.
Right here in the heart of
It is.
West LA. Shout out to the owners, Dave Bell and Jake Kotler, Jake Trainer, the venue manager, Jack Higgins, our creative director, and the one and only Wolf Ramirez over here, our producer, editor extraordinaire.
And shout out to the dry cleaners who will get the smell of weed off the rest of my clothing.
That's right.
Yes.
All right, we're out. God bless.
Live
Thanks.
long.